I'm Shoestring Jane. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things thrifty, frugal and money saving. And this week I have been eating from the stores. It's all part of my low spend January plan, so I'm spending as little as possible on food as well as everything else. So I'm using up what I've got because if not, it leads to food waste and I don't want to waste any food. And it's a bit of a mix of, well, mainly soup. I made a load of soup this week using up vegetables, but I've eaten half kind of healthily and half unhealthily. When you're using up the stores, you just have to use what you've got there. And some stuff I've got yellow sticker stuff that I'm going to use. I'm not going to waste it, but I am trying to eat a bit more differently. I do mention this in my video about how bad my arthritis has got and about a couple of books that I bought. End of last year, you will have seen them in previous videos, I think. Eat to Beat Arthritis is an old one by Margaret Patton. And this is one I got from the library. Eat Right for Your Inflammation type. And it's inspiring me to do a bit better because, as I show you in my video, my arthritis in my hands particularly is bad. I get a lot of fatigue and I just have a lot of aches and pains, really. I know that they've diagnosed me with fibromyalgia, but I think it's more an actual proper joint issue with me at the moment. So I'm eating, it's a bit over the place. It's all over the place. I'm trying to use up what we've got and not spend too much, but I am also trying to eat more mindfully of my arthritis. So, as I say, it's a bit of a mixture. Here's some of what we've eaten this week. Just made one of my favourite desserts. It's just a packet of instant jelly and half a tin of evaporated milk that I opened the other day because I'm using the stores. So we had peaches and evap milk for our dessert the other day. And this is another way to use it. I love this. It's a real childhood dessert. It's literally just whisked up instant jelly, half a pint, filled up with another half a pint of evap milk. Yum. So I got this pizza from the Co-op a few weeks before Christmas, I think it was actually. It was reduced from 1.69 to 25p, and it's just a cheap one anyway, cheese and tomato, and they never have much on them, do they? So I have put some olives, some sweet corn, and I'm just about to put a bit more cheddar on it to make it a bit more exciting. And then I'm going to make a carrot salad to go with it because I actually don't have any salad leaves. So I love grated carrot, and I put carrot with the dressing on it, winter carrot salad, and it's really delicious. It's one of my favourite salads. It's so basic and so easy, but I really like it. And carrots are really good for you, aren't they? So I'm going to stick that in the oven and make my salad. So I've added a few more of the stuffed green olives because they needed using up, and I'm just going to put a bit of this Bramwell's house dressing, which is faux Pizza Express dressing from, I think it's Aldi or Lidl, it's one or the other definitely, but I think it may be Aldi. So it's not as nice as the Pizza Express dressing, but it's not bad, it's okay. So I'll add a bit of that to it. It's not much of a salad, but as I say, I love grated carrots, so I'm happy with that. Now, it doesn't look bad for a 25p pizza, does it? I'm going to have half of that with some of the carrot salad, and that'll do for my dinner. Well, I wasn't expecting it to make two portions, but it has. Sorry, it's a bit dark, isn't it? The shadow's in the wrong place. So the pizza was 25p, as I say, so 12.5p plus a few little pennies for the topping. Let's say, I don't know, even if it was 20p with the toppings and maybe another 5p for the carrots, so 25p a portion for my dinner. That's pretty cheap, isn't it? Hi, today I am using up some more food from the stores. Unbelievably, even though we've moved house since last summer, we've still got several bags of frozen tomatoes. I just froze them whole, really with the intention of just stick them into a soup or a stew or something, so you can stick them in frozen, really. So that's what I'm going to do. I thought this many and I still have one bag left in the freezer, so I'm making some space, using up the stores, trying not to spend too much on groceries. I have a big bag of onions, so some of those are going in. I might actually use more than that. Got plenty of garlic, so that's going in. I have a whole load of celery. I'm going to put all of this in because it needs using, and it's going a bit, you can see it's going a bit floppy. I'm going to put some carrots in as well because these are still some of the 19p Christmas veg. which have lasted really well. I actually wish I'd bought more, thinking about it, because look how well they've lasted. It's now the 14th of January. I bought these, well, a good 3 weeks ago. So I've still got 1 bag of potatoes left and half a bag of parsnips. I'm not going to put the parsnips in because I think that will make this soup just too sweet. But that's the basic ingredients. I'm going to put some seasoning in, some stock, some herbs and spices as well. So yeah, I'm going to get on with making the tomato soup. And something else that I just found in the freezer is just some little chicken breasts. They look like chopped up chicken breasts. So they have been there a while as well. So they're coming out. I'm going to just stir fry. And I've got broccoli and peppers, and I'll save some of the celery for that actually. And carrots, and I'm trying to think what else I've got. I'll put whatever, I'm going to put whatever in with this and do some brown rice, because I'm trying generally to eat a bit more gluten free. I think gluten is a problem for me. I've known it for ages, but I'm lazy. Gluten free stuff is expensive, and in order to keep it budget friendly, it means I've got to make a lot more stuff, and you know, it's just more effort. But I think I need to make the effort because I've got quite bad arthritis. I'm sure gluten doesn't help me. I've got bad IBS. I'm sure gluten doesn't help me. So anyway, I'm going to have brown rice with it later. You know what? I need a big pan, so I'm going to use my preserving pan for this. I'll put a lid on so it doesn't all just disintegrate and disappear. Evaporate is the word I'm after, isn't it? So it doesn't all evaporate. So I don't chop up anything very small. Even the garlic's just chopped up really roughly, because I'm going to make, I'm just going to whiz it all up, so I don't need to spend a lot of time crushing the garlic. Right, now the tomatoes. Trying to escape. Little tiny ones. Finally. And this is just some vegetable stock, and these stock cubes as well need using. So it's good to get rid of those. And I may well need, I've left half the stock behind. I may well need more water, but I will wait and see and add it as I go. Bring that to the boil. And put a lid on it. So I should say I used about 4 pounds of tomatoes in there. I just weighed them, although the frozen weight might be slightly heavier. I don't know how that works. I used only 3 onions because I tend not to be able to eat too many onions, but you need them. You need onions to add flavour to a soup like this. 3 cloves of garlic, quite big chunky ones. A couple of potatoes in the end I put in as well, and 2 really large carrots. So that's it. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to add some dried mixed herbs, and that's pretty much going to be it, I think. Sometimes if I find soup needs a little bit more depth of flavour, I'll put in a little bit of soy sauce. I think that's good. But I'm glad to be using up the tomatoes, because I am, you know, I've been completely over Christmas. I've forgotten about what I'm eating for as far as arthritis goes. I did talk about it a little bit a few months ago. I've gone back to it now because I wake up in the morning, my hands are very, very painful, and my wrists, and really quite, let me see, joint there is quite deformed, as are these ones. That one you can see. So, you know, I don't want my arthritis to get out of hand. I want to try and get on top of it. So I'm going to have to change the way I eat. But I'm using tomatoes and potatoes in this recipe, and those are foods from the nightshade family, and I've been reading that they're not necessarily brilliant for people with inflammatory conditions, but they're fine for some. So the way I'm looking at it now is that I'm doing my no spend January, low spend grocery spend, so I'm not going to waste food that we've got in the house. I'm going to use it. So I don't know if that affects me or not. So I think really the thing is to just keep making a note of how I feel after I eat these things. So I'm going to make some keto crackers next because they're gluten-free. I've got a load of seeds. I've got flaxseed and other kind of things that you need to do it. I've got some parmesan. So it's another good store cupboard thing that happens to be gluten-free as well. So I'll make those next. I've got to mention the other thing I've added is turmeric to the soup because that's well known for being anti-inflammatory. So a bit of turmeric, and plus I like the flavour of it. So that's going in as well. Probably enough. I'm going to make double the recipe. The book I'm using is this one, Quick Keto, and there is a speedy keto crackers recipe in there. The only thing I do differently from the recipe is I double cook them so that they're really crispy. So I'm going to use the oven to cook some chicken for Archie later. So at the same time I'll do this. So I need a whole cup of parmesan, which is just about what I've done, so that's good. Recipe says half a cup. I think if you're going to go to the trouble of using the oven, you might as well do a bit more, really. So what do I need? These need using up, these pumpkin seeds. I need the recipe says quarter of a cup, I need half a cup because I'm doubling up. Pumpkin seeds, and then I need sesame seeds. I've got loads of these. Bought these a while back, so I really do need to use these. Again, half a cup. That's not working, is it? Let's do it this way. About half a cup. Half a cup of chia seeds. My daughter gave me these. I think she bought them in a fit of being healthy and wasn't using them, so she thought I would. These are organic ones. So again, I just happen to have these. I'm going to buy some more, I think. And finally, flax meal, so you want ground flax. I think I haven't got enough. Some more in the cupboard. So it's another one that my daughter gave me, along with the chia. So good to use these up, really. So then we want some black pepper, some salt, and chilli. I'm not going to use chilli. I'm not a big fan of chilli in these. I prefer it without. But let's use some black pepper. It says half a teaspoon. Would it be a teaspoon for me? I'm just going to guess. I'm using up this Himalayan pink salt that one of my other daughters bought me a while ago. She bought me such a big pack that I've got loads left, so let's put just a teaspoon of that in, and then I'm going to combine it with water and bake it. These are going to be a lot darker in colour than the ones I usually make because those chia seeds are black ones and they've really made it an interesting colour. So these are quite sticky. So this is slightly more sticky than usual. Possibly too sticky. I'm going to add a little bit more flax. Leave that for a bit for everything to absorb, and then I'm going to attempt to roll it out. It looks as though 2 litres of the vegetable stock was plenty. So that's it's just coming to a boil anyway. It's a nice colour, isn't it? So I'm just going to cook that until the potato is cooked. By then everything else should be cooked as well, which will be about 20 minutes, I think, not very long. It still seems quite moist to me, more than last time, so interesting to see if I can actually roll this. I'm doing it on a piece of greaseproof paper, as suggested. It's not really a dough, is it? It's more of a load of bird food. It does actually look like one of those bird fat balls that you make. Let's flatten it a bit with a spoon. It's the only thing to bind it together is the cheese, so let's hope the cheese does bind it together. I've made it before, so I don't see why it wouldn't work. No, it's not working. I think it's going to be just to flatten it. It's a spoon job. Ah, I know. I'll put another piece of greaseproof paper on top. That should do it. You want it to be thin enough to be crispy, that's the thing. You don't want them to be fat because then they'll just fall apart and they won't be crispy at all. Because I do want them to fit onto my baking tray, which I'm just about going to, I think, if I'm lucky. See how this looks now. Still too thick. I'm going to need a bigger baking tray. I don't think it's going to fit on there. Let's see how it looks now. Rustic, I would say. Yeah, that looks okay. That looks okay. Now I've got to find a baking tray big enough to accommodate my great big load of bird food. There you go. It's going in, along with Archie's chicken. 20 minutes it needs on 200 degrees centigrade. Here we go, let's whiz it up. I know people like their soup makers, but I wouldn't have been able to make this lot in the soup maker, and I just can't see the point really. I think a stick blender is absolutely essential and in any kitchen, particularly if you like making soups. But I can't see the point of a soup maker. These are cheaper and you can make as much as you want. And it literally takes no time at all to make soup. It's well worth it, it's very cheap as well and nutritious. Okay, so they're out the oven, first bake, because I do them twice because I find that they go nice and crispy on the outside. Like you can see, that's kind of and quite crispy, but I find the inside stays a bit soft. So I let them cool a bit, and then I put them in again for about another 10 minutes, and that makes them really nice and crispy. I do need to cut these while they're still warm though and soft-ish, because they go harder as they cool down, so I'll do that after the next bake. The addition of butter is probably not really necessary, but I hope you can hear that they're very crunchy, but it did mean that they didn't really stay together because I've done them so crunchy. It means I've got lots of rustic bits and they look kind of untidy, but they taste really nice, and it's only for me, so what the hell. So that's it from me. How are you getting on with your no spend January if you're doing one? I'm doing good. I've been tracking my spending as I said I was going to in my last video, and really watching what I've been spending. I have had a couple of gifts to buy this month, but they were budgeted for. So I've done those, but mainly I'm just trying to eat from the stores. I had one comment last week when I was talking about this from somebody who said she would be panicking about using up her stores, and yet I'm not using them up. I'm using some of them, I'm circulating them, I'm trying to organise them. I don't intend to let us go down to nothing in the stores, but I do want to try and build them up in a bit more of a healthy way. So it's very easy if you're kind of got this kind of slight prepper mentality, and I'm not really a prepper, as you know, but I do like to keep a good store of food in. But it's very easy to kind of fill your stores full of processed food, and I really don't want to do that. So I've got to be a bit more mindful about what I put in there as well going forward. Lots of tinned fish though, because fish is really good for you. Tinned oily fish is cheap and it's very good for you. And I have had a bit of I had some sardine spaghetti this week, which I didn't show you, and I've also had sardines on toast, which I didn't show you. Both are favourites. Sardine spaghetti is so easy, and if you look on the BBC Good Food website you can see the one I normally do, although I think I'm feeling they've got one that uses fresh sardines. There's one, you need to find the one that uses the canned sardines. It has a little bit of chilli in it and some tomatoes, and I tend to not use the tomatoes and use sardines in tomato sauce, which does just as well. So I'll build up some more of those kind of things anyway. Let me know in the comments if you've been using up your stores, how you do your stores, whether you eat for arthritis or any other inflammatory condition, and you know, the kind of things that you do eat maybe. Anyway, if you like this video, do give me the thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.